manager of the undefeated Lord of the Swings dynasty, 1-0 as of this week. Coming to you with the commission recap. I might have some kids coming in possibly, so I might freeze and just like stare because they are supposed to be at recess right now, but they're not very smart sometimes, and they forget that they need to bring their lunch. They're maybe they're not future Einstein, but they're good kids, so they might be popping in here to grab their lunches. So I might have to stop at some point. Hopefully I don't have to open the door for them. I might have to do that too. But we got week 1 in the books, and what a week! Oh my gosh, what a week in the NFL! What a week for Swing Dynasty. Gonna go through my perfect 5-0 commish picks for you. Man, we started with Thursday night. We got Bucks, Cowboys, Pirates versus Cowboys. Pretty cool matchup. And we ended with Monday Night Football, which was Raiders, Ravens, Pirates versus Birds. So we got Pirates, Cowboys, Pirates, Birds. In both cases, the Pirates won. Fucking good weekend for Pirates. Let's just put it out there. It's a great weekend for Pirates. Oregon did a little pirating of their own, going to Columbus and stealing the booty from Columbus right out from under them. Big weekend for Oregon football, obviously up to number 4 in the country now. Went to Columbus, took down the Bucks. Ducks versus Bucks. Ducks come out on top. USC goes and fires Clay Helton after they lost to Stanford, who did not look good against Kansas State week 1. Clay Helton's out. Man, you got Chip Kelly over there in Pasadena looking pretty good. Meanwhile, at the Coliseum, not looking too good. So that's a good one for Lucas and not so good for JD right now. But this is not about college football, even though the Ducks did it. I'm just going to keep saying it. The Ducks did it. We won in Columbus. No, this is about NFL football, Swing Dynasty, coming to you with my commish picks, 5-0 after a late rally, Brian Edwards. Going to go through our picks, okay? So I'm going to start with the game of the week that wasn't. Okay, so the game of the week was me versus Steve, the Lord of the Swings versus Baylor Broncos. Man alive, it was supposed to be a good one, fellas, but I couldn't take my foot off the gas, and he never got it in gear. So ends up with 212.44 for my team to 146.01 for Steve's team. That's a 66 point difference, 66 and change difference. Player of the game in this one was Darren Waller. Not my highest score, but he had a plus 10 points over his projection. Ended up with 26.5 points. He was projected for around 16. And then the letdown in this game goes to Cortland Sutton with missing his projection by 12 points. Only scored 2 points, and that's even though Jerry Jeudy went out. So, and then on the dumb sit for this game was Hunter Renfrow. So Steve did not play Hunter Renfrow in his 13.4 points over Cortland Sutton. So that's an 11-point difference there, and would not have made a difference in this game. But we always do the dumb sit from each game before we do the dumb shit sit of the week. Oh, no. Okay, not them. All right. So that's it. That's the matchup between me and Steve. I'm 1-0. He's 0-1, and that's where we're going to end that one. And, it was a pretty even-out performance by my team. Darren Waller was the only position MVP of the week. He did get the tight end of the week. But, yeah, overall, just my team being average good overall, all across every position, and got it done. On to the next game, Hanoi Janes against the Pick and Jerry's Berries. So that's Bert versus Adam. Adam's picking all them berries from Jerry. This was supposed to be a big blowout, and it was, but not as big as it could have been. Bert was projected well over 200 points, I think 210, but he had quite a few letdown players. Ended up 182 to about 123, a difference of about 59 points. So less than the difference between Steve and I, but it's still a pretty good spread there. Player of the game in this one was Kyler Murray. Dude scored 12 points more than his projection, ended up with 43 points. Very good week for Kyler. Very good week for Arizona as a whole. Chandler Jones, my goodness gracious. And the letdown in this game for Adam was Brandon Ayuk. There was one direction I could go in, but I mean, he was 15 points below his projection, basically. He ended up with 0.28 points. I was watching Red Zone, I was cleaning cars. I have no idea how he got zero. Basically slightly more than a quarter of a point. So that's a big one. That's 15 points less than his projection. And then wouldn't have meant the game, of course, but would have helped. Would have been more respectable. Zeke was a candidate there, of course, but at least he scored 6 or 7 points. The dumb sit, though, goes to Adam not playing Sammy Watkins and his 13.6 points over Brandon Ayuk. So it would have been a 13.5 point difference, essentially. Again, not changing the game, just would have looked more respectable. Yeah, Bert's running back's a little concerning. Raheem Mostert not playing. Mike Davis not, the whole Atlanta Falcons offense looks non-exciting, non-inspirational. And Aaron Jones with 6 points. I imagine that Green Bay's going to fix that, turn that around. We'll see, though. That's supposed to be the strength of his team. Did not show up there this week, although his quarterbacks, I guess, are really the strength of his team. Yeah. So, Bert won. Okay, 1-0. Adams to 0-1. All right, next game is Riddle Me This, Lucas versus Albuquerque Janes. The team name for now, the Albuquerque Janes. Maybe he wants to keep it there. Maybe he's changed it by the time you watch this video. But when you win like this, maybe you don't want to change it too much. So Riddle Me This, 137 points against Daryl's Albuquerque Janes, 236.93 points. That is a difference of 99.69 points, and it ends up being the large margin of victory.
Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent you.
All right. I hope you could hear that. I have no idea. I usually have my speaker. I got to stop doing this at school. This is amateur hour. Anyways, so that is the large margin of victory for Daryl. Almost a hundy. The 100-point spreads, as I said in the message, Daryl is like a phenomenal chef, especially a vegan chef. And when we'd go to parties at their house, the food was unbelievable. So 100-point spreads, I like it. I think it's a good name for Daryl. But, you want to pick your own name. You don't want some dumbass like me telling you how to name your team. Player of the game in this one could have gone a lot of directions, honestly. Could have gone a ton of directions for Daryl's team for player of the game. But I'm giving it to the freak, Tyreek, 17 points over his projection of 20 points. Dude started with 20-point projection and beat it by 17. Almost doubled it for 37. And he's just always open. He's always open. Him and Kelsey, they could throw to them every play. That's all they have to do. That's it. That's why it works. That's why these players score. That's why they're in the top fantasy group. They're always open, especially Tyreek. Kelsey just is almost unguardable with his size and speed and everything like that. So, but Tyreek is just always open. The letdown player for Lucas is going to be James Robinson. 10.5 points below his projection. Ended up with 9.6 points, somewhere in there. And the dumb sit of the week for this one was tough, and it actually raises some alarms for me about Lucas's team. It's Nyheim Hines, who had 16 points over Robinson, who had 9.5. That makes me worry about Lucas's team, that he scored only 137 points, and the best change he could have made was to add 6 points with Nyheim Hines over James Robinson. It's worrisome. Tells me there's not a lot of depth going on there. He's got some talent at the top of the roster. Calvin Ridley had a bad week. Again, Atlanta, I don't know if that's changing. Atlanta doesn't look good. They don't look good. And Christian McCaffrey produced. He always produces. So it's concerning where the points are going to come from in Lucas's matchups. Adam had 3 probably players that I would expect to really overproduce what they did, and he had some options to sub in. I'm not sure with Lucas's team right now where those points are going to come from, unless these current players, unless these current players turn it around. So we'll see. Anyway, so Riddle Me This is 0-1. And Albuquerque Janes, maybe the last time we hear that name, 1-0. Okay, on to the next one. Cali Style, JD versus Oregon Beer Force, Mark. And this one ended up being, there was one point where JD was projected to win this game. It was kind of nuts. It was in the first half of the Seahawks game. They were not playing well. Like I said, early game for the Seahawks. They were not playing well in the first half. Once they woke up, got a little bit later, West Coast time catching up, they started to play, and Mark kind of ran away with it. Ends up being 159 to 202, about a 43 to 44 point difference. Man, shouldn't be doing this chewing, but I don't have enough time. Player of the game, Joe Mixon. Dang, you want to talk about there being a workout horse running back in the NFL? Joe Mixon is one of 5, I would say, 5 or 6 true workhorse, standalone, his backfield. No one else is in the NFL right now. He beat his projection by 11 points, ended up with 32 and a quarter. Was in play for player of the week, but he is player of the game here. The letdown for JD, honestly, there wasn't much. There weren't many guys that didn't hit their projection. JD's team maybe scored as many points as JD's team could have scored. But the Titans' defense, and this shouldn't be a shock to anyone, I guess, they weren't very good. They got 0 points, which was about almost 10 points below their projection. 9.79 was their projection. So JD's team, not a lot of more points left on the board. The dumb sit, though, Zach Pascal. Zach Pascal with 20.3 points sitting on his bench could have played over A.J. Green, who had 4.5. So that's where JD could have had that extra. They pick up of 16 points there. Would have been good for him. Would have made this kind of a scary matchup. It would have been 174 to 202. Scary in the sense it's closer than 30 points, which definitely would not have guessed that. So that's the dumb sit of that game. Zach Pascal, 20.3 points. So overall, Cali Style drops to 0-1. Beer Force goes to 1-0. Respectable performance by JD compared to maybe what I thought it could start to look like. There was 3 teams who scored less points than him, so good job. All right, now on to what became the real game of the week, match of the week in our league. Duck the Vax, Phil, and Portland Ducks. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe this one. Ended up being 100. Oh, here comes one of those students right now. So I'm going to have to get to the real game of the week because I'm going to have to go open the door for them. Here they go. Oh boy. Hold on just a second, fellas. What are we doing?
Sadie's lunchbox.
Well, what are you watching? What are you?
Buddy system.
Buddy system. All right,
I
the buddy
have
system.
that for myself.
Sadie. You gotta start bringing your lunch to ATI, maybe.
What? I have to.
Come on.
No, she has to carry it all the way to art.
Yeah, art,
Bring it.
then ATI, then recess, then lunch.
This is a man.
That bag is that big. I think you could probably carry it to art. I don't know.
She'll probably eat it.
Okay. All right. Head out to lunch. Have a good lunch. All right. Bye.
What?
Nothing. What are you doing? Okay, I think they're gone. They're probably going to appear right in this window here. Yeah, there they go. All right. Lord have mercy. Okay. Yeah. Match of the week. Sorry, that was must-see TV right there. It was amazing. Yeah, this game is incredible. Duck the Vax, 185.24 points. Portland Ducks, 185.78 points. A difference of 0.54 points. One more catch by any of Phil's players, he wins this game. One less catch by any of Sean's players, Phil wins this game. That is so brutal. Yeah, it's amazing, especially the way it went down at the end. Brian Edwards, 0 points in the first half. ends up getting just enough to carry Phil or Sean to the victory. Player of the game in this one, though, was Amari motherfucking Cooper. 38.9 points. That Dallas offense, it looked unbelievable, except for Zeke. Maybe some reasons there. I mean, he plays in the game the whole time. He just didn't get the touches with the way that defensive line plays, I guess. But Amari Cooper beat his projection by 22 points. Ends up at 38.9 points, which means he more than doubled his projection. The letdown player in this one, Matt Ryan, 17 points under his projection, ends up at 7.8 points. 7 points with Calvin Ridley, with Kyle Pitts, with some tight ends that can play, with 7 points for Matt Ryan. Boy. And that leads to our dumb sit, Jared Goff. I mean, come on. I wouldn't have played Jared Goff either against the Niners. Niners injury bug again. They're snake bit. They end up behind the 8-ball with their defensive backs. The lines are way behind. They just have to throw. They only throw to their tight ends and running backs, but they do it. Jared Goff scores a bunch of points, 36.67 points, which puts him 29 points more than Matt Ryan, which makes this the dumb shit sit of the week. So the dumb shit sit of the week goes to Phil. He could have beaten Sean by 25 points, 26 points. I can't remember what I said there. He's 29. He could have beaten Sean by 28 points if he had played Jared Goff in this. But who cares? So that's the dumb shit set of the week. Jared Goff. Who would have thought? Who'd have fucking thought? What a week. Player of the week overall, Amari Cooper. Guy beat his projection by 22 points. Number one wide receiver on the week, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty confident in that. 38 points. Unbelievable. So that's the wrap up, you guys. That's it. We're going to come to you with the commission picks in the next day or two, the next 2 days for week 2. We're rolling now. We're rolling it into it. Best ball roundup. So the best ball roundup. Yeehaw! Best ball roundup. Don't know what that was. That just came out. It was not planned. Very impromptu. Fuck the best ball roundup, by the way. Lucas, number 1, 223.48 points. Mark, 216 points. Daryl, 203 points. What do all these assholes have in common? Auto drafting. All 3 of them, for at least part of it, were auto drafting. I'm pretty sure Daryl was auto drafting for part of that. And I'm pretty sure Mark was too. I think he came in late. All of those dickheads auto draft, and they're in the top 3 week 1. I hate computers. That's what that teaches me. Fantasy football is meant for humans. I'm not going to let you guys auto draft anymore. I'm gonna draft terrible players for you, like I would do for myself. So, all right, that's it, guys. End of the video for this week. Trying to keep them under 20 minutes. Trying to do that for y'all because I do want you to watch them. I don't want to become tedious. All right. See you in the next couple days for commission picks for this week. Have a good one. Bye-bye, Swing Dynasty.